about asset protection. What exactly does that mean? Well, in simplified terms, don't go broke in a nursing home. Elder Advisors. With me now is my good friend Larry Weiss, Steve Langdon, the president, CEO, and founder of Elder Advisors. That is you, Larry Weiss. And asset protection is a fancy word for don't let them take your money, right?
Yeah. Don't go broke in a nursing home because you don't have to, John. We're doing our last season ramp-up of workshops next week for the season. Once again, we're in front of Kentuckiana, so you don't go broke in a nursing home because, quite frankly, you don't have to. You know, families are easily going through $7,000 to $10,000 a month, and it's completely unnecessary. It's just not necessary. But most people are operating under what people have been watching the show. We talk about the barbershop law, the beauty shop law. People are resigned. There's nothing they can do, and so much can be done for husband and wife. If one spouse goes in, we can protect all of the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect about half of the assets. And, of course, half of something is better than all of nothing, John. But for us to do that, we always need the preamble of an expert legal attorney. And the erstwhile preamble attorney for us is preamble Stephen
You
Langdon.
hear one legal term. And you just
I'm not an attorney. I'm not an attorney. That's a financial term.
I'm with you. If you know one good, really cool word,
he throws it out all the time.
Throw it out there.
Tort. You're going to start saying tort now.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like tortious interference.
There you go.
Tortious interference.
I do think, though, it's important to establish when you throw out a number like when you say, $6,000 to $10,000 a month, that's not a scare tactic. That's reality.
That's the real deal.
If you know anyone who's ever had to go through this, then you know it is real. But you can protect the assets if you know the rules, and a lot of that is a legal component, right, Larry?
We almost always need the legal component. Steve and Dana Bergen is paralegal. They're the ones that basically take the file and cross the finish line to be successful, to be able to make the case with the state because everything is disclosed so they can protect those assets. I will tell you that probably the hardest person for us to reach is the person that's in denial. And often the person in denial is mom is in rehab. And the families are thinking, well, we've got 100 days. We don't have to worry. Now, you need to worry about it now because what people don't understand is the 20 or maybe the other 80 getting to the 100 days can stop at any time. And that's when they get their invoice from the nursing home for $18,000 because they're billing for October. Now they're pre-billing for November. And that's when rubber hits the road. So now is the time to get in front of this and take advantage of the workshop next week. They go to freeworkshop.com or they can call 855-LARRY-55. We're doing the workshop Monday night, 6 o'clock at the Hilton Garden Inn on Crittenden Drive. And, of course, Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. on Broadway Street in Clarksville off Veterans Parkway. It is fun. It is good news, like Steve Steve says. It is good news because you don't have to just sit there and drown with this. And Steve brings a component of the legal so you can protect those assets because we almost always need the legal component.
Well, it's not only the money that you can save, it's also the peace of mind, which is almost, for some of these families, as valuable as the money itself. It's just the peace of mind knowing everything's going to be okay. It's going to get taken care of. You got professionals there to represent you, to help you through the process. And then at the end of the day, it's going to be good news because you're going to preserve your assets.
Yeah, I think I can understand why people would procrastinate if they didn't know the information that you will share with them at these workshops.
Right.
Because they think it's bad news.
Right.
You always say it, and it is good news. We're going to save you some money.
It is good news. And I was just talking to a gentleman before I came over here, and we were looking at doing some pre-planning, some power of attorneys and maybe some trust work here or there. And he said, why do I need any of this? And the big reason you need it is so that you are prepared for when that bad day comes. And we all go through those bad times and those hard times in our lives. It's going to happen. Get ahead of it. Because if you can get ahead of it, then we're not at the last minute trying to, scramble to protect you. Now, we can do that, and we have done that, and we do that, but there's no reason for that. Do some pre-planning. So that way, if you got a situation, you don't have to privately pay for 3 months before you can start saving. 3 months in a nursing home could be $24,000. Let's do pre-planning. Let's make sure that never happens to you.
I want to talk more about these topics. Larry, you wanted to interject.
Yeah, when Steve was relaying that to Kentuckiana's most insightful, wise, and learned TV personality, Kentucky, John Ramsey. Don't go anywhere else but wave 3, John Ramsey.
Well, thank you, Larry.
Well, I can't be crushed for you. But what Steve was saying was true because I've been doing this now over 25 years, and I'm very blessed, and it's really kind of humbling to say 25 years. I've been doing this a long time. But I've had people, I'll sit down with people with such a basic concept as a power of attorney, because I'm not an attorney. I refer people to the attorney. But I kind of have to laugh because I've had husband and wife sit down, and perhaps the wife really wanted to get some sort of a pre-planning action together, but the husband, you know, he's in denial, and his answer was, well, we'll get that power of attorney when we need it. And my head explodes when I hear that. I'm like, are you kidding me? When you need it, most likely you've had a stroke. You can't do it.
You needed it yesterday. Yeah.
So then what happens then, counselor, because you're the attorney, I'm not, what happens then when they put it off?
Well, and we got to go through the guardianship process. Well, that's a court process. And in Kentucky, that can be a jury trial or a bench trial, but you're going through a trial in Kentucky. And it takes time. And again, if it takes 2 or 3 months to get that guardianship so that your loved one can help you out there, you may be down $16,000, $24,000.
All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but if you all don't mind, when we return, I want to talk about some of the topics that you'll talk about, if that's okay. Also, I want to get an update on Larry's mom, because I was worried about her. I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So we'll get an update there as well. And don't go broke in a nursing home. Elder advisors are the answer, and we'll talk about some of those topics that you will learn about at the workshop. There's some of that information on your screen as we speak. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens.